Watch the entire video, my lovely viewers, I mean from start to finish, to get the whole thing. Without wasting much of your time, let's get right into it.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Hi lovely viewers, it's me again, your one and only Mutati Mpundu. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time on my channel, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. Turn the bell icon to join the notification squad. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this video in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you lovely viewers.
Budget full of emoluments and just bonuses to members of parliament. There's no end in sight to just how terrible people want to lead us into an unending suffrage of our people. Poverty is going to rise. Obviously, we will not have enough money for development. We will also no matter how many people they add on to the emoluments budget, it will just get worse, and there will be no good prospects for our nation. We have had poverty for too long, and nobody's addressing this as a national agency. It should be a national emergency where we definitely try and tackle poverty and bring it down at least to under 10%, at least in this century. It looks like people don't care. How are you going to just hijack a constitution and have so many people come and what satisfy some groupings, or is it to satisfy yourselves to continue ruling on a very poor country? I don't think we will be the sixth poor after these amendments. We'll be probably the most poor country in the world, facing horrendous poverty, rising poverty, and no development. I mean, we could have probably labeled PF, but PF did a lot. I have so many people have told me they went to Zambia, just couldn't believe what they were seeing under PF. Today, all we hear is just that the country is always dark, and people go there to visit and just come back saying what is happening to a country that was looking so good. And the silence from these Western countries, sorry to say, who were just busy saying, oh no, you're being led wrong, and now they just keep quiet and they say very little. It was even actually looking good as the American ambassador spoke about the thieving of medicine. Yeah, but there we are. They're going to try and pass through amendments to the constitution and what to get like stay in power long. Zambians, please, let's vote out these people. Let's vote these people out in 2026. The time is now.
Oh, thank you. Our dear brother sent an audio, and we have to listen to it. I think he's talking about the lack of fruits that will yield from the constitution making process. It's a selfish agenda by the president. It doesn't save anyone. We have critical issues. You have a collapsing economy, rising debt, the cost of living crisis that has affected our people. Our people are currently still being load-shedded. Zimbabwe, we share Kariba, has more light than Zambia, and it's not making sense. We have Kariba, we have Kafue Gorge, we have Itej. What's happening? Why are our people being load-shedded? But the president wants to engage in the issue of the constitution. Clearly something that's not favorable to our people. It's not a priority to our people. It's not needed at this moment because the constitutional making process requires, I think, wide consultation. Yeah, please call so that we. Oh, I see. My dear brother, Mr. Chilufya from UK, wants to participate. Let's see if we can get him.
Hello.
Patrick, good day. How are you? How's the United Kingdom?
The United Kingdom is okay, very sunny.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Please make your contributions to our topic today.
Yeah, it's just sad what is happening in Zambia. And we have a president who does not want to listen to the stakeholders, because running a nation is a collaboration and a collective responsibility of all stakeholders. So HH is just a custodian, is a steward of our resources. So here is a guy who is a steward of our resources, does not want to declare his assets. So how are we going to trust him to manage our resources? Because that's the beginning of transparency, declaring the assets. American ambassador told him, Transparent International told him, he refused. But Bamwamba, even the corruption they are saying they can fight, you cannot fight corruption without transparency. And fighting corruption to me is a symptom of bad leadership. So fighting corruption starts with the president. And if the president cannot be transparent enough or lead by example, then the fighting of corruption will never go anywhere. And I thought the president was going to take fighting corruption seriously, because corruption is probably the biggest governance cost in our country. And if he cannot lead by example, if he cannot declare his assets, what is he hiding? You know, so these are, and Bamwamba, we've got a person who is showing tendencies of tyranny, autocracy, and then he now wants to use the constitution even to have more powers, because what he is trying to do, and Bamwamba, I'm wondering, they are confident that they've got the numbers. So where are they going to get those numbers? Because on paper they don't have the numbers. So they can only get the numbers from our MPs, our independent MPs and PF MPs. So our MPs, where do they get their mandate to be in parliament? Who are they shown their allegiance to? Is it not to the constitution? So if they are saying they are confident that they've got the numbers, what have they done? Which means they've colluded with our MPs. And then our MPs, the question we need to start asking them now, they need to come open and tell us what they think about this. Because yesterday, one of the PF MPs, Kachibia, issued a statement that we want to know where is the delimitation report. So but what about other MPs? And why are they not asking? Because it's already gazetted, Are they fooling us? They told us that ACZ is going to do the delimitation process, and then after that is done, then the government will study that, and then they will adopt it. But Patrick Kangwa has already signed the government gazette, showing that there's going to be how many constituencies, 50 something through delimitation. So, Bamwamba, we don't know where those, because let me just give you a small statistics, Bamwamba. It's going to require 256 members of parliament. So, UPND has got how many, Bamwamba? 88, at the moment.
Yeah.
They've got 88. Then the other 45, they haven't told us how they're going to be adopted. Obviously, it's the executive that's going to, other 35 plus 10 the president will choose. What about the other 35? So when you look at that 45, they are the people who are going to have allegiance to the president.
Yeah.
So if we add 88 to 45, we've got 100 and that is 334 members of parliament. And then the limitation 56, they haven't told us where they're coming from. Is it proportional to all the provinces? Divide that by 10. So which means each province should have at least 5 delimited provinces. But remember, you'll be shocked. You're going to discover that most of those 56 will be coming from the Zambezi province. So let's just say 40 will come from the Zambezi province, which is the stronghold of UPND. So if we add 133 plus 40, they're coming up to 173.
Yeah.
To have 2/3 is 175. So we're gonna descend into tyranny. So we're gonna have this president now who control parliament. So already I've just added 173.
Yes.
It requires 175 to get to 2/3. So we're gonna have a president who will be changing the constitution every year, like in Uganda. So is this what our MPs want? So we need to start putting pressure on those MPs. People should tell them, if you betray us, we won't vote for you. And I think what we need to do is, on the day of voting, all the MPs should walk out of parliament who are not the MPs, including the independents, so that we know who is a traitor.
Yeah.
Because Bamwamba, posterity is going to judge us on this. If this goes through, because everybody Bamwamba, the church has said it, the civil society has said it. Laura Miti, who is part of UPND,
yes,
she's saying, where is the agency? Is elections the age? Because most of the amendments, according to Laura Miti, is about elections. So we've got a president who just wants to win the elections, and then once he wins the election now, he's now going to perpetuate his stay. Yeah. This one is has already stated that it's going to be there up to 2041. It's not me who is saying it. Yeah. So they shouldn't arrest me for cyber or whatever. This one is said it.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a president, 2031, he will change the law. He will extend his stay. You know? So is this what we're going to accept? And what's her name? Linda Kasone. You know, my sister, my patriotic sister. She has already said it. Forget about the elections if this goes through. Yeah. So, Bamwamba, this is a matter of life. Yes. We need to fight, and then we need to tell our MPs, all our MPs, they need to go into their constituency. And they need to ask the people what the people want before they vote on that day. We need to put pressure on them. Yeah. Because this can, Bamwamba, we're sliding into tyranny. And then once we get there, Bamwamba, already Zambia is one of the poorest countries in the world. Yes. Already Zambia is one of the most unequal countries in the world. Tyranny will even cause more unequal. And then what happens when a country is unequal? It becomes unstable socially. Yes. And you know what happens in an unstable country socially. Especially
you
when
risk nationalhood.
are ruling the majority, are controlling the majority. Because it's the executive, the minority, who is controlling everybody.
But Patrick, let me take this other question. There's a queue, of course. Quickly conclude.
Dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Needs to listen. Zambians needs to listen to this. One person is going to control the whole country, even controlling parliament.
Yeah.
I rest my case, Mama.
Thank you. That's Patrick, our dear caller from the United Kingdom. Is a regular caller on this program, and he provides insightful views. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Ambassador Mwamba.
Yes. Please kindly speak louder. Yes, you are live. Tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you so much. This is Emmanuel calling from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Yes, Wamashina. Please make your contributions.
I should say, first of all, thank you for this platform and that we're able to contribute to our nation's development.
Thank you.
Mr. Mwamba, I'm one of the person that is really disappointed with this regime. Personally, I come from the Zambians region. One of the people that really pushed for this regime to be in power. And I can sadly say I regret. See, there are a lot of things that we know governments or politicians can do. But when politicians begin to tamper with the constitution, just because they can hold on to power, it tells you to what extent those politicians are willing to go just to hold on to power. And it also shows you in what interest are they holding on to power. It's definitely not for the people.
No.
The constitution is the fabric, or should I say is the cornerstone of the democracy of every nation, democratic nation. And what this president is doing, he simply knows that he's not popular. This is why he's doing what he's doing now. My heart is sore. Personally, my heart is sore. I don't know whether we'll still have a Zambia tomorrow. This may not look very serious right now to a lot of people. But what they're trying to do to that constitution, it's so bad and it might affect us to the years that are coming.
Yeah.
There is no reason, there is no one that has given any legitimate reason as to why they are rushing this constitution. And it is sad that when you look at the arrogance that they have, they do not even have the sincerity of speaking to the citizens and trying to explain to them nothing at all. Their priorities are misplaced. Look at how they're handling this issue of doctors that are volunteering.
Yes.
Look at how the education minister, the health minister just answered them. Where is our country going? Indeed, it's sad and it is discouraging. Like I said, I come from the Zambezi region.
Yeah.
What they have, there is no development here.
Yeah.
The people are discouraged. Their popularity is gone down. I'm telling you because I have been around, I move around. Most of the work that I do is in rural areas. People are angry.
Yeah.
They know that they have lost popularity. It is true, we may not have a strong opposition, don't be fooled. Zambians know who not to vote for. You understand? And what I would want to ask Zambians, we have only one country. There's some of us who may be privileged to live in other countries, but at the end of the day, there's only one Zambia. There's only one place we can call home. No matter how beautiful these other countries are that we live in, we still only have one Zambia that we can go back to. I pray that we'll fight this. And these politicians must know this. Zambians loved Chilo. But when he pushed them against the wall, they rejected him.
Yeah.
Zambians will always put their country first no matter what. They did it with Chiluba. They did it with David Kaunda. And this president must not, he should actually learn from his predecessor.
Yes.
Zambians love President Lungu. Even now you can see how they relate to him. But when it came to their country, they chose their nation. And this president must not be fooled to think that we'll love him more than we love our country. No.
Yeah.
We'll always choose our country before any individual. Thank you so much.
But Mashina, thank you very much.
So you mean the Bishop of Mansa was telling lies, addressing the congregants in the cathedral? Is that what you mean? We are listening and we are putting this on record so that the same way the videos that President Hakainde Hichilema has been speaking to the Zambian people in 2021, and we supported the 10-plan program, but unfortunately he has changed everything and we don't know where he has taken that program.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think those were the various calls from UK, from South Africa, and voice note from Zambia. Today we're discussing the issue of the constitution making process. The Catholic leadership through two various bishops spoke over the weekend, the Bishop of Mansa Diocese and Bishop of Mpika Diocese, all of them urging the president to withdraw this bill. It's not in the interest of our people. You have public commentators like Laura Mitty, and today we are the big one, NGOs, which represents women. The reason President Hakainde Hichilema is trying to ride on this issue is that women need to be presented. The women today said, no, Mr. President, your process is not transparent. Your process is opaque. We therefore reject Bill 7. The women who you want to stand for, who you say you are doing these amendments in their name, today have rejected Bill 7. Similarly, the youths last week, they rejected your proposal because you want to say we want youth participation. The delimitation process, you have loyal MPs like Sande Chanda, Kanchivia MP, who has been very supportive of your government. But he issued a very strong adverse statement against you. He said, Mr. President, your government must declare, must bring the delimitation report. It must be released at the same time so that Zambians have a view of the 55 seats that you wish to create through the delimitation process. This is a matter that has been roundly rejected. And then we've been discussing the issue of the president and his declaration of assets. That he needs to declare his assets. That's a requirement of the law, number one. It's a requirement of the Constitution of the Republic of Zambia that you should make those annual, the declaration, not just once, but annual as well, update it. And on the day you leave office, you have to declare those assets. What this means is that people need to know how much you went in with, and if you are walking out of that office, are you walking out with suspicious, wealth? That is the purpose of those declarations. Annual, to see the update that you are making. Does it commensurate with your current income? And on exit, none of this is being done. And therefore, the public officials have not followed. The speaker just made the declaration at the beginning of the term. So did the ministers. No one is doing annual updates in the last 4 years. That's what we were discussing today. And I think we had a wonderful topic. Can I send a voice note like you saw the other voice note? Please, you can send a voice note and we can read it. For the president, he has accumulated new farms, he's fencing them, he's damming them. We saw from the Zambia Environmental Management Authority that one of his farm he wants to put up, scale it up from a hydropower station. They will dam the water for farming, but also they might produce some power. We saw that. So Zambians are asking, where are you getting the money from, Mr. President? We know your salary. And you said you're no longer in private, private employment. You're not running business anymore, but you seem to be running the farms. Someone has written a note that, are you aware that they did an amendment where either, I think cement should be imported free of charge? Is the president using the law to enhance his farm activities? Yeah. Hello, good evening. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
My name is Brad. I'm calling you from within Lusaka.
Thank you, Bran. Good evening.
Okay, I would just like to add my thoughts on the Constitution, Bill number 7. It's very clear that majority of stakeholders have rejected Bill number 7. But what is even shocking is the determination from UPND to go against the will of the people and proceed to enact this bill. When I look at UPND, I look at the president that we have. He seems to be a type of leader that never takes no for an answer. Whatever he aims at doing, he never backs down. And these are very scary traits in a leader, because a leader should be able to listen to people when they speak to him. There are no reasons that are advancing that can convince anybody why it's urgent for them to enact this bill.
Yeah.
But no matter what anyone else say, I was watching the Sunday interview. There's this lawyer. He explained very well how the process itself is more important than the content, but they don't seem to care about what anyone else has to say. They want to enact this bill number 7 by all means. And this is even scary, because why are they so determined? Even after the church is against this, the people are against this, there might even be some of the people in UPND who are not in support, but because maybe they cannot speak anything that is not in line with what the top leadership is supporting, then we have found ourselves in a situation where they are just pressing on. So this is really scary, and I hope that people can begin to be awakened by this, so that we unite as a people and fight this. Because if we don't stop the enactment of this constitution, whatever will come, a lot of us are going to regret. That is my contribution.
Oh, thank you very much. Clearly, the issue of the constitution has been rejected, or awesomely, it's been rejected. Number one, the president says he wants to include more women. The NGOCC, that represents women and women NGOs in our country, have rejected the bill. They had a press conference this morning. One of the key NGOs for youths in our country, OIV and its executive director, Ges Nyirenda, has also rejected. He says the youths in Zambia have rejected the constitution making process. It's not transparent. It's not done in the interest of our country. And the process has been done in a manner that doesn't promote interests of our country. On declaration of assets, I've been very clear, this is a law. It might be uncomfortable. I've seen praise singers are saying, no, Mr. Let's get this caller. My dear brother, is that Mr. Mabo?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Ambassador.
Good evening, Mr. Mabo. Kindly speak louder and make your contributions. Mr. Mabo is president of Zambians in Italy and is a regular contributor to our program. Make your comment.
Thank you, Nat. Ambassador. You are the haircut. I was thinking, like, is this the youthful version of the ambassador?
Nadia go kubaba shop after 5 months.
After 5 months, someone like a very youthful.
You triwaiche.
Because then the time Mukaba president was Zambia, youth not geriatric politicians we have.
Yes. My dear brother, make your contributions. Yeah.
It's because of geriatric politicians, that's why we are in this mess. If we are quite old school mentality, there's even no respect for the wisdom of all founding fathers. Why, for example, they said a public servant who aspires to lead the people, president, they should declare assets. I think in short, could avoid corruption. Number if we in a mentality about it's our time to eat, instead of thinking it's our time to lead our people and see what we can contribute really life to create a legacy. But Ambassador, I don't think you have a lot of men of integrity leading our nation. If there is respect, Katishinga that anarchism is happening in Zambia or something, because there's no respect for government institutions, including the legislature, the judiciary, like we've been talking about the past few weeks. If the UPND and the PF, for example, were manufacturers of the ambassador, and then Bachta manufacturing the considering because you could not engine that it can take us from here to there. Obviously, because if you're in Deke or especially in Deke or I'm a ship, I'm a boat, you can't lie. If I'm engineers, these nerds, they tell the truth. They are not politically correct. No, but if it doesn't matter. No, but in Deke kwena, I'm engineers, that's why I'm accidents now. But I wanted to also say something regarding the contribution from a gentleman from the UK, Patrick.
Yeah.
I think even though, yes, Zambia is going through this and that I'm happy because Zambians have to there's providence for our nation. God still really loves our Zambia. Zambia has done a lot for Southern Africa. Unless I will protect us. I just wanted to make sure that Patrick providence is there on our nation. Now I'm just curious, Ambassador, to hear epofiafiko kubana kachi percentage ngakutu mwaivika pesa. The last time on Oscar Valiranda Party 10-point plan, you also supported him to say, no, the man promised the people. You know, Mozambique, we have people of discernment, people who can feel into figure. Uyu muntu ifyadera ndo vibe fyagwedde the aura. It's not right, it's not true. We had them.
Yeah.
And I still believe that the UPND didn't convince the Zambian populace that they had better policies for the nation, Ambassador. I think the rebellion vote against the government that was in power, not the core of the PF, because the core of the PF is patriotic. From the outside, hijack. Those are the people, the Zambian people, yes, rebelled against, because those Nivakandile to the that time. If you feel but I feel sorry for the UPND, especially the top leadership, because whatever they are doing, boomerang in case ambassador, it will be like a boomerang. And I hope that posterity measures were put in place by leadership, maybe who will be lenient on them, because if you you know, since economy na Iruban, I remember the president Aga in the Chile. He lived in Mwakalingalinga Mkombo when he moved from Wengwa. He knows the struggle even of every young Zambian, young man. He knows, he comes from that life. Then if they prioritize, it's not to make it easier for people to find food, easier for people to make money, easier for people to do business, easier for people to have electricity, transportation, beyond. Shift if you're a constitution, auction, there is no need. This time it's not an urgent thing to change a constitution. It's not an urgent thing to the limitation. I'm a constituencies if you ready for if you have my MPs, when I'm a doctors, if you today for resident doctors, you see, it's like I wish for them Ngabadi leadership. 8 million people, 10 million, 12. This time we are more than 20 million. I don't technology age. They know you can't lie. Wherever they land, understand the bank.
Yeah.
So, Ambassador, I wanted to say, but boomerang and Providence is on Zambia. Our people are going to suffer. If you feel what cheap there, no, but the time back from Mapo by UPND, now we know we've suffered. But I will tell you, I don't think, Ambassador, there will be anything that the Zambians are going to be happy with, because it just feels like this, honestly.
Yo.
I hope something in these 5 years.
Yeah, no. Wonderful. Mr. Mabo, I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
Apparently, it seems that program is coming from Rwanda or from Uganda. History, time will tell whether what we are assuming is wrong or it is correct. So if the bishops, not one bishop, bishops, the Bishop of Lusaka, the Bishop of Kabwe, the Bishop of Mansa Diocese, the Bishop of Mbika Diocese, the Bishop of Chipata, the Bishop of Lusaka. All these bishops are telling you, under the sun, do not impose your program on the Zambian people. That program, the so-called non-contentious clauses, it's only the government that calls them non-contentious. The Zambian people have not yet discussed. Our family members in places, Copper Belt, not the cadres of Matambo or Tayali or Kabuswe. No, the Zambian people, the women at Sokone Market, the women at Chamboli Market, Wusakile Market, ordinary young people from Mulenga, Luangwa, in Luapula, they have not been consulted. Be humble. Listen to the Zambian people. We will keep on reminding you. History will judge you. Will judge all of us.
Thank you very much. From the Vatican, our dear brother, Father Donosco is a regular contributor to our program and was making his remarks. Today, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Zambians, we're discussing two key items: the issue of the Constitution, which was just an update. Two senior clerics of our country, Bishop of Mpika and Bishop of Mansa, spoke. They've appealed to the president to ensure that he withdraws this bill. We saw Cornelius Mwetwa, who's a chief government spokesperson, appeal that the government can't withdraw the bill, but stakeholders are telling you withdraw that bill. It has no blessings of our people. It's not being driven by our people. It's not. Our people have not mandated you to make the changes you wish. Today we had NGOCC, which speaks for women, reject Bill 7. We had Guest Nyirenda, who speaks for young people under OIV. They've rejected this process. They are manufacturing voices to show that the bill has support, but clearly the bill has no support and it should be withdrawn. The doctors that are unemployed employ the doctors because the patient to doctor ratio is one of the highest in the world. We have few doctors. A friend of mine, a distinguished doctor, Dr. Shailene Desai, says the training of nurses, doctors and teachers must be regulated by the state. I agree with you. That's why we didn't open private hospitals at a time for these, because the primary employer will always be government. So government now has a bloated public service wage. The IMF is telling them to trim down or expand domestic revenue, and they don't seem to have any. So they can't employ the doctors at the moment. Like Muchima said, they've no money because the priorities are elsewhere. They're spending up to 7 million kwacha on each by-election. They want to expand parliament. The priorities are totally misdirected. And then we're talking about the big issue that the president must declare his assets. This is a requirement of the Ministerial and Parliamentary Code of Conduct. The principle there, although he's not a minister and he's not an MP, the principle there is all public officials must declare their assets. Then there was an amendment that was done in 2016, Article 261 and 263, that speaks to public officials, including the president, to declare their assets at entry of the office, annually, and at exit of the office. This was a rallying call by Musa Mwenya, former SEC board chairperson, who said even if the laws enabling legislation has not been created, the provision in the Constitution, looking at the various interpretations that have been done by the Constitutional Court, I think we are good to go. Let public officials declare their assets, especially the senior ones, permanent secretaries, judges, MPs, ministers, and the president must declare their assets, and these assets must be annually updated. That's what the law talks to. If you look at the case ruled by the Constitutional Court of Zambia and the Chapter 1 Foundation case, and Susan Matalewat won the affidavit. That was our discussion today. We're discussing those three items, and thank you for the cause, for all those that called in, for those that made contribution on Facebook. Thank you very much. I can see praise singers don't want President Hakainde Hichilema to disclose his assets. They are saying we should just work hard. Work hard. What if he's stealing, Mwewan? That's why the law is very clear. What if he's stealing and taking the money into his farms? That's not hard work. So he should merely respond to the law. This is nothing personal. He's a good man. He's an elder at the Adventist SDHH. He should adhere to the law. that's all we can say. Respect the law. You swore to uphold the Constitution. You swore to respect the Constitution. Adhere to the law. Make the declarations public. Especially that the allegations of large-scale acts of corruption attributed to State House. It's very important that the president comes out very clean. He keeps on talking about the former PF officials, how corrupt they were. What about you, Mr. President? What about your people? SEC told us it's investigating 5 ministers. How far are we with that case? That is the purpose of these declarations. They can help citizens go to these areas and demand for those declarations to be made public and say your income doesn't commensurate with your current earnings. And therefore, there is something you could be doing to the treasury, because the treasury is looted. By the time we are pursuing anyone, the money has been spent. There's a preventive mechanism for accountability and transparency, and that's the issue to declare your assets, your liabilities, and your business interests. So God bless you. God bless our country. Until we see you next time. Shalom, shalom.
This is DJ Mutati exclusive.
Alright, that's all for you today, lovely viewers. If you did enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about the video you just watched in the comment section below. I'll be super glad to hear from you, lovely viewers. Once again, I go by the name of Mutati Mpundu. I love you, peace, I gotta go.